Hello and welcome to Supreme Commander Forged Alliance Forever. This is part 3 of our coverage of the series between Turbo2 and Blinchik. Here's Turbo in the top in the orange with Seraphim. Also with Seraphim is his opponent Blinchik, playing the purple as always. The map is Palladium. A map I believe is made by Chosen, a 5x5 map, a lot of mass, and also a couple of hydras in the base. Major base that side. The spawn area is this one here on the right and a symmetric one on the left. 3 mechs is on a hydro in those positions, so clearly I think we'll be seeing the ACUs head in one of those directions. Seems like they're both very similar distance from each other from both players, so we could see them go to the same side, go to opposite sides. Very colorful map, I would say. Not sure how I feel about this. This fast flowing red stuff, but certainly a different aesthetic than we're used to. So both players look to be rushing towards the hydrocarbon. The split screen does not really do much for us here, let's be honest, because the first 2 engineers run immediately out of shot to the main expansion. Not sure why both players are Seraphim. Usually Seraphim is not so favored on the on 5x5s because, well, number one, they don't have a lab. The Selene is a poor excuse for a lab, but yeah, they've both gone for it here. Not sure why, but we shall see how it plays out. Air factory planned after the hydrocarbon for Blinchik, and I expect, well, actually no air factory planned, so full land for Turbo. Seems on a map like this where you have so much mass in the base, feels like air has a greater potential than in maps where there are a lot of resources in the middle of the map to secure with tanks. If you want to attack the base, tanks are not going to achieve that. Bombers, however, can get in and kill, say, this group of engineers over here. And given there's quite a lot of mass, could be quite useful. You can see a lot of reclaim here, which has not been queued up yet. I think that's probably needed for Turbo, given the amount of stuff that's building for him. He could be heading for a stall very soon. Also not grabbing any reclaim here with the ACU. Could do with that extra 60 mass. Blinchik, meanwhile, far ahead on mass, and that's because he has manually reclaimed all of this stuff here. All those chunks, 2 Selenes draw each other in the middle in a duel to the death. And oh my god, why do people still do this in 2020? In current year, people still make an air factory and make an inti. I guess he's made like 4 land factories beforehand, but still, you know, still. He's making another inti. Yeah, that's very sad. And now we're going to have an anti-air for Turbo, multiple anti-air. ACU much quicker for Turbo and actually getting a couple kills here. 3 kills in fact. Maybe 2 Selenes and 1 tank, I think. Another tank goes down. ACU and the tank combine to get that kill. Why is Blinchik making inties? Some things are just, you know, will never cease to trigger me a little bit. Making only inties is one of those things. Turbo is making a lot of anti-air. Like if if Blinchik had made a scout and an inti, and then just made no more air units, it would be worth it because because Turbo has a factory repeat building anti-air, which is really bad. I mean, now he's invested nearly 400 mass now. I mean, it's going to be over 400 mass now once this next one comes out. 440 mass in anti-air. There's not been a bomber made. So this is crazy. Not great. Blinchik still making air. He's stalling power extremely hard to get out yet another useless inti. And I'm really just roasting these guys so hard right now. But you know, I have my reasons. Look at this sky. Whoa. Okay, that was a bit much. Chosen does like to make a bit of a skybox. Any planets going? Sorry, I might seem disinterested with the game here. Let's focus. Turbo's pushing forward with the very powerful combo of an ACU combined with Zooies. Blinchik dodged really well though. He's basically full HP still, so not getting pinged by Zooies. Speaking of, Turbo just gets hit there and loses a unit next to him as well. Blinchik has control of the right. You can see Blinchik has all these mexes. He's won some fights here. There's reclaim for him to take. Hydro half done. Meanwhile, Turbo does not have these mexes, so this looks really good for Blinchik so far. He also had this mex before it was killed. He's taking this mex. There's also reclaim that he's grabbing, and he's over 1,000 mass ahead in total. Despite his horrible power stall, now he has way too much power. Should definitely invest in an energy storage. This power overflow can turn into a ton more DPS for his commander if he invests in that energy storage. The problem is it's 200 mass and he has not got that, or rather 250 mass, not 200. He is sort of wasting units here. It's not great to be fighting with your units while your ACU is not doing anything, but he's taking some damage off the commander, but I'm not sure how worth it is. Not the most ideal micro, but still not the worst thing either. I think he needs to use his ACU more. He still has a lot of HP. Okay, he lost his engineer over here, so there won't be PD going up in this position, but still he has enough units to defend. He can actually push forward even. Turbo's going to move in and try and steal some reclaim on this side. Should not be allowed to do that. The Mex goes down on this side. So many units here. Could have put pressure on the base, and if he runs these units towards the base of Turbo, Turbo's going to have to send all the reinforcements for the next amount of time. Who knows, a minute maybe, to get enough units to defend against this on the far side. The difficulty is losing ground here, and he's also trying to build factories on the front, which seems like a terrible idea considering he has no mass, and these factories are going to be incredibly vulnerable if he gets pushed back even slightly further. So yeah, Turbo balances Blinchik's economy for him by killing the engineers that are building that factory. It's very kind of him. Blinchik's still not investing in energy storage, which really would help him a great deal. Turbo is all in on the Zooies. There's not many Thams there. It seems like at least half those units are Zooies, and they're all attacking the commander. Blinchik taking good care to move back and forth, dodging virtually all the shells. Turbo's getting quite a few shots away on the units and is way ahead in terms of veterancy. So Blinchik not protecting his units from the commander sufficiently. You can see constantly just running in, taking damage. I mean, this commander is always shooting. Maximum DPS from this commander, which is good micro from Turbo, but also bad micro from Blin. It's got to be said. Oh my god, there's so many units, and Turbo was not ready for this. I mean, he had a radar, right? No? This was a radar, surely. But he's just allowed tons of units to port through the right side with no reaction. Still sending many Zooies forward. Those forward factories get killed. The units within them killed as they're building. And the Zeus continue to focus on the commander, who has actually taken many shots. So you can see, you stop dodging for a few seconds, and suddenly you lose thousands of HP to these Zeus. This is the power of Zeus on 5x5. He's taking way more shots. Look at that. He was at over 6,000 15 seconds ago. Now below 4,000 after he takes maybe 2 volleys. Turbo pushing in. Feels like this game is absolutely beyond him, as his main base is dying to tanks. He's pushing in. He needs to get. He's looking for the kill or a draw. Blinchik fighting valiantly. All of his reinforcements coming this way, and he can almost afford to fund all of that. Still has units in the base, can kill even more stuff, kill power. There's a huge amount of reclaim for Turbo to take here, though, if he can manage to take it. Now units coming from the right side of the map across to the left, killing Zeus very easily as they get there. Turbo just does not have many units with him, and Blin still remains on over 4,000 HP. If Turbo retreats now, I feel he loses all of his oh my god, there goes another factory. And somehow Blin is not making any bombers. I think bombers could end the game right now. If he bombs this power here, bombs energy storage, bombs this power, which could all easily be done, I think he would end the game if he would just stop making scouts and inties. I love how Blin never stops moving his units, but they also never stop being in range of Turbo's commander. Like, look at this. Let's watch the next move order. Okay, this is a good move order, you know, away from the danger. Now he's going to move back, so they're still going to be in range. Now they're getting even further into range. But he's actually using his commander now as well, so this is fine. But constantly it feels like Blinchik is moving his units back and forth right at the edge of the range of Turbo's commander, who now has 84 kills, 4,000 mass killed. And Blinchik's pushing in with similar numbers of units and less HP, and he's not close to a vet either. This is kind of worrying what Blinchik is doing. All these SAMs are not shooting. He's building factories in the middle of the map now, and I'm not sure why. He's trying to get some reclaim. Only 1 engineer so far. Turbo with a couple of engineers trying to get some reclaim as well. They're going to be absolutely necessary. But Turbo is getting pushed back. He just simply cannot produce. He does not have the production since he lost these units. Probably he power stalled as well after losing those P-gens. And Blinchik is pushing him back, just not enough reinforcements from Turbo. But still, there is definitely chance for a draw here at some point. But it's just very difficult though to see how Turbo wins. Oh, now he's left with no units here. This is the time when you want to send your units into range. Keep your commander in range. Turbo dropping a lot of HP here. And Blin with the big advantage now. Now that Turbo's been pushed back, I don't see how he gets any of this control back. There's a lot of... I think a lot of this reclaim is killed by artillery. But there is still almost... Yeah, we got, what, 2,800 mass here. It's very significant mass. Blinchik's picking some up at the back here. I don't see those engineers anymore for Turbo, which is very worrying. And yeah, Blin doing very well. Looks really bad for Turbo at this point. Nice raid from Turbo here to get those 3 mexes down, but they can be replaced pretty quickly. Haha, that's just sneaky. Look at that. He's taking the Hydro. It's pretty much in Turbo's base. That's just BM. Turbo is a fair distance from his 4th veterancy. Meanwhile, Blin's about to hit one. hit his second, and just has far more units than Turbo. I think the game is coming to a close shortly. Well, there's still decent reinforcements coming in. Let's see what Turbo's production is like. Very nice. He is living on reclaim, or off reclaim. Another 500 mass done in those 20-30 seconds. Is Turbo increasing his production? Well, he can't. He has... Looks like they have almost exactly the same generated eco once again. And in terms of units, I'm sure Blin must have more, I would say. We got only 14 tanks and 25 Zoos. That's not very much. Very similar numbers, in fact. Okay. But it's Turbo that's lost ground. Unsurprising, given that he wanted to fight in basically right outside of 7 factories, with 4 more very close by. It's not easy. That's called the, you know, defender's advantage. It takes how many seconds? 30 seconds for units to get down from Turbo's base, and Blin immediately has all his reinforcements at his front line, so you're not likely to hold his position. He's been pushed back. Reclaim has been gathered by Blinchik in the meantime as he pushed forward, and it's well, I mean, Turbo is doing really well here, honestly, considering the damage he took in his main base. He's actually fighting in middle, killing more factories which are poorly placed. You really don't need production in these precarious positions. Like, I mean, here is fine because you don't want to lose this. In middle, he just created a target here, and now there's going to be reclaim left that Blin will have to take. Also, the production he made here as he was getting pushed back was definitely a bad investment. Got killed shortly after. Some of the factories that were under construction never even got completed. Turbo fights on, getting some reclaim with his commander. It's a great way to take that reclaim. You just got to be careful you don't stand there too long, or otherwise you're going to lose a lot of HP to the Zoos. But yeah, Turbo doing well, but he's lost a lot of ground on the right hand side, and there are many units. So I think we could see another push into the base from the right side from Blin, same as the one earlier in the game. Also, this PD was poorly placed. Artillery from back here beyond the cliff shot over and killed it, and there's a lot of power built here right in the edge of the base. Back here is much more secure, and I think all this power is going to go down very soon. There's just not enough units for Turbo in his base right now, and meanwhile he can't push here because of the defender's advantage. Basically, the quick reinforcements are too powerful for Blin. Turbo has gotten that 4th veterancy and now has far more HP once again than Blin. 3,500 more. Turbo continues with the excellent micro of the commander. 143 kills. Well over double what Blin has. He just took a lot of damage there. Blin was on 8,000. He lost 2,000 in basically one misstep. And oh, he has this energy storage at the front as well. No, don't stand next to that thing. Oh god, he's running into the corner now. Turbo looks like he wants to go for the kill somehow, and that's, oh no, I think he just lost quite a bit of damage to that energy storage. I think his ACU got hit by that. Blin tries to just overrun the commander. He's afraid that he's going to get trapped here in the base of Turbo. Blin has ran in, killed all those PGens, killed the entire spawn base of Turbo, and now Blin just needs to not get drawn. Turbo's going to come in for the draw here, I'm almost sure. He only needs to drop Blin below 2,500. Lands an overcharge. Blin is on 3,400 damage needed to get the draw. But Blin is now out of range of Turbo's commander. He's been blocked. Turbo's been blocked by Blin's units and his own units a little bit. And Turbo says GG. He doesn't think he's ever going to get... I think he should keep going. But yeah, I guess he's never going to get into range of the ACU again, is he? And the next veterancy is quite a long ways away. And the game ends, yeah, this base had also been under attack there. Power dying, factories dying. So, yeah, well played from Blin, and also well played from Turbo. Let's see how many kills he had in the end. 172 kills. 8.4 thousand mass worth of damage. 69 kills for Blin. Not even close to what Turbo's commander did, but still won the game. And that brings us to 2 apiece in the best of 5, which means we go to a deciding map. Let's head over to that map now. Would you look at that? It is Crazy Rush. Some people like Crazy Rush a lot. They like to watch Crazy Rush games. Other people seem not to. I myself am a big fan. Which helps because we've seen quite a lot of Crazy Rush in this tournament. Clearly the players don't mind playing it, or even enjoy it. This is the decider of the best of 5 though. So very high stakes. Blin has Aeon. Turbo has UEF. I think these are the 2 best factions for Crazy Rush. Better than Cybern and Seraphim in my opinion, which is interesting because Cybern and Seraphim are probably they're probably the 2 most popular picks in general in tournaments, I would say. 1 versus 1 and in 2 versus 2, Seraphim and Cybern are. I remember the 2v2 tournament, there was a lot of Cybern and Seraphim picked. It's a good combo. But here, probably, you know, UEF would be my favorite. Aeon second. Both have very different strengths. Look at this triangle of scouts here. What is that? It's wow. Blin is okay, I like this. Blin is not. We've seen a lot of openings which are, well, we've seen a lot of cookie cutter Crazy Rush, we'll say. And then we've seen some just poor Crazy Rush gameplay, I'll say as well. Here in this opening, we're seeing something totally different than what we've seen in other games. First, in the the scouts from Blin. Secondly, the number of units he's making. He's sending over 2 Aurora now. Artillery, 3 artilleries are out now. A lab from Turbo is not going to cut it. And also we can see Turbo building his mechs in a different way to most people. You will see Zlo build Crazy Rush mechs in a specific way, which is very interesting. That PGen just went down that was under construction. It was killed. Now the ACU is forced to run and fight the Aurora, and guess what? They just retreat. And from the right hand side now, we will see the Fervors come in, and if they can get away some shots on the PGens, this could be very painful. Those Fervors have a huge DPS and will kill PGens very quickly. The trick is to get them in there. There he goes. 1 Fervor starts firing. It's not gonna do it though. Damn, he the AC is defending well. This Fervor survives. This tank is searching for the Fervor. He's gonna find the Fervor. So Turbo defending really well. I'm going to exit this dual screen because, yeah, that was excellent defense so far from Turbo. He's defending well with his ACU and with the few units he has. Lin's micro is really good on this side with the Aurora, but the Fervors were what he really needed to do the damage, honestly. and they were the units that could actually have taken out some P-gens, but yeah, Turbo defended them really well. And now this tank also does very well. This Aurora is left with no scout, and so it will go down. Now there's quite a lot of tanks for Turbo. Turbo has a far superior eco after the opening. This looks very bad for Blin. Look at his ACU. I think he's left him go idle. There's no way he built this few mass extractors in that time if he was actually building them all that time. I mean, he must have been idle for a significant portion of that. Oh god, the economy isn't even close. 20 T1 mexes. 13. It's not even close. This is very bad for Blinchik. He's moved forward. Built factories quite far forward. He's got a bomber which is also idle. It's been idle for a while because the second bomber is almost finished as well. Maybe he's waiting for 2 bombers and then he can go after power. They would both need 2 passes. This could actually, that could be huge if he takes out all of these P-gens. It could be very big. However, there is also a bomber now from Turbo, and it's going to be more damaging for Blin to lose engineers than it is for Turbo, because Blin is already suffering in terms of his economy. He just lost a couple of engineers. Oh, a tank gets in and kills 3. The bomber kills 2. Also, this UAF bomber does way more damage than the Aeon one, and so is much more dangerous versus P-gens. Inti out already for Turbo. Turbo loses 4 engineers there to those 2 bombers, and the Inti just sniped the 2 of those bombers like an absolute pro. 5 engineer kills, 6 engineer kills for that bomber. So this one bomber from Turbo, 50% more kills than Blin's 2 bombers, and it's still alive. Crazy. Blin's ACU is now making P-gens, as that's what the engineers were doing before they all got bombed. He needs to replace, needs factories at the front. These need to make a couple more engineers out of these so they can continue the base building. But this looks very bad for Blin right now, gotta be honest. That bomber's on patrol. This bomber's attacking the ground for some reason. Both strange things to see. The bomber comes in, it goes after the mexes. Oh, he's gonna kill so much mass. Look at this. What? Where did the bomb go? He bombed the Inti. He bombed the Inti. Look. The Inti is down almost 200 HP. He must have bombed the Inti. Oh, that's so unlucky. That is so unlucky. He should have killed 10 mexes, potentially. But instead he bombed the Inti. No. Oh, and now this Inti has killed now 4 bombers. Excellent raid here. The mex, or the tank, takes out an engineer and goes after the mexes now. I'm wondering if this damaged Inti can actually win 1 versus 1 with an unvetted Inti, because it has so much HP and it has so much regen. It's got 4 vets. It does. Oh my, is that fully? It's almost fully vetted now. 450 mass killed. I mean, in total it actually has more than that, I believe. It should get 105 from a bomber, but it only gets 100 because you're limited to going up 1 level per kill. Blin is trying his best. He has a decent number of factories at the front. The Aurora are really, really good on Crazy Rush because it's just perfectly flat and you have room to move around. But they're not good enough to stop him taking damage on the right side. He's going to be so far behind a mass now. 7,000 mass. Turbo has 50% more total mass right now. T2 land is 50% completed as well. I don't know what Blin's progress on T2 land is. I expected 0. Units coming in the back. He has to use the ACU as a weapon to defend. He needs more engineers on mass extractors. Needs more engineers on everything, but it's definitely on mass extractors. Losing this is brutal. He has 50 tanks and an irrelevant number of other units. Turbo has 50 tanks, 16 artillery, but way more mass. And I think we're going to see a lot of T2 support factories, and I think this game, Turbo can easily end this game in the T2 phase with a big T2 spam, mongoose, pillars, shields. I think he can create a force that will just simply crush Blinchik. Blinchik only now moving to T2. He's 1/4 of the way there. No assistance on this factory yet. I don't think these engineers are ever going to get to assist that factory because there's so many power generators queued up before the assistance is queued, so I don't think they're gonna help him get to T2 any faster. Units on the top. Aurora's got caught out, I think. No wait, those aren't Aurora. These are Aurora. More bombers out for Turbo. Begins the attack moves. Of course, Blin's army much more vulnerable to bombers, and he has no mobile anti-air. It's a big error, I believe. He's gonna lose a lot of his units to these UEF bombers because there is no anti-air whatsoever. I mean, there is. Okay, actually no, we have some inties. Never mind. Wow. Wow. Oh my god, that was insane. That was insane micro from Turbo. How many engineers did that? I mean, there's not even reclaim left because UAV bombers do so much damage. I think he killed 6 engies there. With that quick turn and bomb just before he got sniped out of the air by the inties. That was extremely good by Turbo. Turbo's mass bank looks pretty good. This is very sad to look at in comparison. Good fights from Blinchik here. He has superior numbers. He's getting in on top of the artillery and things. He just killed a mongoose over here as well as the whole army. Pillar now is under attack. One thing to note, pillars you can circle dodge with pillars against Auroras basically indefinitely. Now we have multiple mongoose out. These 3 mongoose are going to melt all these Aurora given just a short amount of time, and the Aurora are going to become extremely bad now that the mongoose are out and pillars are out, and a lot of Lobos as well. A lot of Lobos are included because Turbo is really in the ascendancy. Well, he is just far ahead. He knows that he will be getting into range of these factories sooner rather than later, and he wants a lot of Lobos to be able to do a lot of damage quickly, not have to wait for tanks to plink away. This is a very good raid and completely unnecessarily allowed by Turbo, I would say. Mongoose will clean it up, but most of these mechs are going to go down, which is desperately needed for Blin. He absolutely needed this. His T2 land is finished. I struggle to see support factories coming. Here's one. Here's another. He really needs more than this, but I guess he simply doesn't have the mass. He's still there's only 2 engineers building here. Now the AC returns to build more. He needs a lot more engineers on this. He doesn't want to seem to commit to this position. I don't think he believes in himself holding it, so that's a big issue. There's so many T2 units out now though. It's very difficult to see a way back. T3 land is just completed for Turbo. He has tons of mass in the bank. He has 40 T2 units. There are no T2 units. Turbo can end the game very soon. I'm really surprised he has no shields. They would add so much to his army. Just a couple of shields would allow him to just fight within range of a lot of Aurora without nearly as much attrition on his army. All these T2 units standing still and getting killed by fervors and Aurora. This is the old lazy PD spam here. It's not even a Sparky. Come on. Using regular T2 engineers to build PD is just plebeian. Terrible. But he's definitely feeling lazy. Look at this. He just builds a line. That PD is now finishing. This PD, however, 670 mass killed already. Pretty good. What can be done? What can be done? Turbo is not scouting. That's one thing he is not doing at all. Which, you know, obviously leaves you open to a snipe. He has made a lot of T2 support factories. That's for sure. Some of them are idle. A couple. Quite a few going to T3. He has so much mass. So much mass. Looks like he finished T3 Pigeon already. That's very good for him. Now he will actually be able to spend all that mass. And many more T3 Pigeons queued up immediately after, of course. T2 PDs going up for Turbo. They're for Blinchik, sorry. Very good at fighting these T2 tanks and bots. They do leave Mongoose alive on 50 HP. They do 600 damage. Mongoose have 650. But still, AMPD is very, very nice to have with that alpha. But this whole position is completely overrun now by T2 units and Lobos critically to kill the factories very quickly. The Obsidians are trying to defend, but there's just not enough of them. Units getting in the back, they're going to win air control. And he doesn't have enough to kill this army just yet. Needs to use the ACU, I think. And maybe also needs some energy storage for overcharges. All in all, though, it's really irrelevant. This game is for sure over. There's nothing that can stop this army now at the front. Nothing at all. Turbo's view is very clear in what's happening. Also T2 artillery, T2 BDs at the front, Ravagers coming up. He should build them even closer. Why wait? 8 Titans already. Very fast Titan production with a lot of assistance. And Blinchik is completely overrun now on the front. He maintains one base here, fire base with PGens, with PDs, with a shield. But that is not going to last. The shield goes down. The engineers got down. PGens coming next. The grenades land on them. Get away from the reactor, dude. Okay, the PGens are not going down. Clearly not a major target. The commander is here. Commander now being target fired by some of the T2 units. The whole front base is dead. And Blinchik is losing health. pretty rapidly. Took some damage from the P-gens there. And he is completely doomed. Nothing he can do now except wait. Turbo now is going to try and wipe the entire map before killing the commander, I guess. Fair enough. Why not? Oh, maybe he wants to build a satellite first before he kills the commander. Another viable option. This base is cleaned up. Nothing remaining on the right hand side once this mech goes down. There it goes. The right is cleaned. The left. Cleaned. Look at the wreckages. Look at all those factories and units. Look at all the factories as well for Turbo. That's quite a view. Now the commander is searching for units to kill him. Please. Runs after the mongoose to get himself killed. GG, well played. Good luck next, says Blin. Quite a base there. Satellite. Pff, not even halfway. Come on, Turbo. So, there you go. That's the fourth of the quarterfinals. Turbo wins 3-2 versus Blinchik. This is by far the closest of the quarterfinals. Turbo looking really good. Blinchik gave a very good performance here as well. And that is it for this video. The next videos coming up are semi-finals. Also, we'll have a replay review. I believe in the not too distant future. And yes, that is it. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Stay tuned for more coverage from this tournament. I'll see you next time.